Hello. Greetings, nail people. Go ahead. I'm all ears. All right. Hello. Nails over coffee on, what is today? The February 5th. And today I am wearing my red for heart health. It's also got a little blingy Red Sox in it because it's almost baseball season, because that makes me happy. But I'm wearing red for heart health. So today is Wear Your Red Day. And just as a little reminder, guys, that we as women tend to just sort of push on through when we don't feel good, and that heart disease is still the number one killer. So we need to make sure that you know what the signs are. And if you feel that like somebody's sitting on your chest, like you just walked up a flight of stairs and you can't breathe, those kind of things, those are signs. And the number one symptom of heart attack in women is generally death. So yeah, know your symptoms and wear your red today to spread the word. And spreading the word of Red Sox. Hello, everybody. So, something completely not nail related that I wanted to show you because it was on one of the beauty boards. This is a fruit tray done with a pineapple palm tree tower, like centerpiece. I want to do this. Not today, obviously, but this summer for a party. Is that not the cutest thing ever? So yeah, sorry, not nail related, but oh my gosh, I want to stack up pineapples and make a pineapple fruit tray, palm tree. It's so cute. Anyway, it's New Year parties for some of the groups. So they have some different pictures up. So that was one that they have for a New Year's party. So where did my Facebook go? Okay, so I have spent the last probably 24 hours buried in my state law. And it always is amazing to me when you do law research, especially in the cosmetology field, what you find when you actually read like every single word of what we do. And I tend to be somebody who's kind of a nerd anyway, so I like totally keep up on reading about the law and all that stuff, even when it doesn't really apply to me. But even I missed one. In my state, we used to have a requirement that if you had a home-based salon, you had to have a separate entrance than your residential entrance. Well, at some point they removed that. And I didn't even know that till I studied all this stuff. So totally, like, Washington State is a great law. Our law is really good. I can't complain about that. But make sure that you and Tina, talking about Glam Squad and stuff today, Tina's got another blog post up about Glam Squad, and it talks about state law stuff too. You really, whatever state you're in, you really should know your state law backwards and forwards. That's just that whole being able, even if you have something that you think is not quite right, but you think maybe it's right, you should at least know the law well enough that when you get inspected, you can explain it. You can say, well, I thought I was following the law because this is what the law says. You know, we are licensed professionals, and the licensing part doesn't stop when you take that exam or test or whatever it is in your area and you get your license. That's not when the licensing stops. So you need to know all the law stuff. Otherwise, you can't be compliant if you don't know everything. And sometimes change happens for the better, you know? The separate entry requirement was a pain in the ass in my state, and I'm glad it's gone. And we also, notice my huge cup today. It's a lot of coffee today. And my hub-love pointed out to me that I'd never used this cup before for the show. And so I'm using it today. I find it funny that Mickey is reading the sports page And he's saying, go ahead, I'm all ears, and I'm wearing a sports t-shirt today. So I find that kind of funny because that's sort of how I am when I'm watching baseball tonight on TV. But anyway, so you guys make sure you know your laws inside and out, up, down, all around, back and forth. Make sure that you know your laws. So let's see what I saved here for us. Oh my gosh, I've been so busy doing nails and everything that I think I may have. Okay, so I want to ask, how many of you out there have tried I know that, I don't know if it's a trademark name, but I know that David Huang, it's chisel nail art. But, you know, there's the metal cutters that take away, you know, they cut into the pink or whatever acrylic, and so then you can put another acrylic up next to it, and they're round like a wheel, and they have different sizes of happy faces cut out of them, and I don't even know what they're called. Apparently you can buy them at lots of beauty supplies that carry nail art stuff. So a smile line cutter, thank you. I watched a video the other day where so the biggest problem with the dipping systems was not being able to dip in the powder to get the right smile line. Brenda, thank you. To dip in the powder to get the right smile line. So this was doing the nail in with a pour over with the powder, the pink, and then before using the activator, doing a couple of coats, and then before using the activator, using a smile line cutter, cutting that out, and then doing the pour over method with the white. You know, brush it on, pour it over, brush it on, pour it over. And I gotta tell you, it made a pretty nail, and it wasn't wasting product, and it wasn't dipping, and I've seen that used on some acrylic videos somewhere, and I haven't personally used it, but I would like to know if anybody has. How much work was it? It didn't. See, that was my argument I had with, I think it's going to be hard, I think, in my opinion, to get people to switch who are currently dipping, because they're not necessarily going to see the benefit of switching. But I think people who are learning how to dip, it seems to take about the same amount of time. And it actually seems to be a little easier technically, because you don't have to get that exact right angle to dip the nail into the white powder, kind of thing. It seemed to take about the same amount of time. And it was technically easier. So I think maybe training people who are just learning, if the dipping systems embrace this technique, that we might get new people doing it this way. I don't know that we're really going to get a lot of people who are currently super into their dipping systems to change. I don't think they're going to see the benefit in changing. And as we all know, we slow down when we learn a new technique. And so if they've got it and they don't see any problem with it, they're not going to change. But it was definitely, I saw an ad that, coming to Cosmoprof. Oh my gosh, I don't know where I put it. Coming to Cosmoprof this month, if it's not already there, is a Young Nails system. And all I know is the ad said, why bother to dip? And it was a nail with something that appeared to be powder pouring over it. And that's all it said in the ad. It was a Cosmoprof ad. So I'm interested to see. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe we're going to see a little bit of a resurgence of this. But I've seen some really beautiful nails with the dipping system. So I don't know. That was kind of interesting. Has anybody if you've had some experience with the Smile Line Cutter, either that you really liked it or you really didn't, or it saved you time, or it seemed to be about the same, or whatever. If you've had any experience with the Smile Line Cutter, if you comment below on the Facebook page or send me an email at nailsovercoffee@michellecordes.com, I would love to hear about it because I've never used one and I don't know a whole lot about it. And it seems to be sort of interesting. Gosh, I have read so much. Hard to use with quick setting acrylics. See, and that's kind of what I was thinking, but I've watched a lot of David Huang's videos with the chisel nail art, and his acrylic sets up pretty fast, which is actually the only reason why it works, because otherwise you would have to wait too long to be able to get a clean cut line. So I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe you just have to work super fast. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's part of the time saver of it, is that, because we know when we do a pink and white nail, whether we do it reverse or traditional, we know that getting the smile line right is the part that we spend the most time on. Whether it's we're getting the pink right, well, practice and getting used to your product. But I try to remember back to 19 years ago when I first started, how practice was harder to come by. Does that make sense? Like, you're running a special and you're trying to get some new clients, and you're working on a practice sheet and you're working on, your little Freddy finger, and, maybe you're lucky enough to still have a practice hand from school or something. And you're continuing to practice, but it's not the same as the practice you get on every single person that you do. Every set of 10 nails you do, you get astronomically better. And so I try to remember back to what that was like when I was just starting out. I like to sculpt, but I had to do tips for the first 3 months in the salon because I couldn't guarantee that my sculpts weren't going to crack on the sides. So I had to do tips and practice my sculpts by repairs and those kind of things. And so I think that maybe if somebody is I wouldn't necessarily be opposed if somebody is just starting out, to them using a Smile Line Cutter on a tip overlay to get a good smile line for the client while they're practicing the rest of their application. Because, the smile line is what causes us the most problem when we're doing French, And if that keeps people from using a drill poorly or doing something else that's unsafe, I don't know. I mean, thoughts while you type? Anything that will get people out into so I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this, because I'm really pro anything that will get people out of beauty school and into a customer client service type environment in such a manner that both the customer's nails are being treated well, safety and sanitation is being followed, and the tech can make money. I'm fully in support of whatever that might be. And if that is dipping systems while you're learning to perfect your traditional liquid and powder application, or whether that be using a Smile Line Cutter until you get your white lines good, or not even offering enhancement services, only doing natural nail services until your enhancement services are a level you feel you can offer. Like, I'm totally in support. Let's see. Michelle, I would rather see new techs practicing than give them shortcuts. I mean, there's definitely that angle to it as well, you know? I mean, practice makes perfect. So that's another comment here. It's a tough one. Practice makes perfect, though. Yeah, I mean, I guess, because how I did mine is I did pink and white tip overlays until I was comfortable enough doing a full set of sculpts. But in the meantime, whenever my clients broke a nail, because it guaranteed all my work, I found friends and did discounts until I could perfect. Well, and I mean, I agree with that too. It's just tough when you got rent to pay, you know? Not like salon rent, like house rent. So I have some sympathy for that. And I think that that's how some workers get taken advantage of, is because they have to have a paycheck, and lots of places aren't offering that. But anyway, I did full sets with tips, and because it's easier to do a white smile line on a tip overlay because you're just doing this the way it looks. You're not building the structure into the nail as much with the tip overlay. Well, that's a fact. I'll get to that in a second, Michelle. There are, and then when somebody broke a nail, then I put a form on and I repaired their nail with a form. And then when I, you know, either soaked them off or put a new set on or did whatever with that, and I would sculpt all of them. Like, I sort of eased myself into it, I guess. And so I started out booth running. So I totally, yes, I mean, I do understand that lots of pros use tips on a regular basis. I personally just like to sculpt because I hate futzing around with tips. I don't know if it's my clumsy by nature thing, but it always seems like I'm fumbling around in a tip box, no matter what tool I try to use to pick them up, or just my fingers or whatever. I don't know what it is. So, but for me, tips are always, a total yes. I use them on myself, especially I actually use them on my right hand. I sculpt my left hand, but, you know, so I stay in practice and everything, and I can definitely do it. It's just I don't enjoy it as much. But what was just brought up a minute ago was doing other services that will make you money to pay your rent until you can do the services you're practicing to pay your rent. And I absolutely agree with that. I think that I don't think you should offer any service that you can't do an amazing job at. And so maybe you come out of school and you do a kick-ass pedicure and you can do a wicked gel manicure. Then rock that ish and practice your other enhancement stuff. Don't even put it on your service menu. Like, just practice it on friends and family for the cost of what the product is costing you. And, you know, go out and find yourself some guinea pigs. But the stuff that you do well at, rock that and use that to pay your rent. Like, I absolutely agree with that, like 150%. So yeah, master it before you sell it. Like, it shouldn't even, that's back to that, the 7 P's of service marketing, that product one. Having an idea, we have a disagreement on what I just said. So I would like to hear your disagreement. So please, type it in while I'm finishing what I'm, says I spent 2 years being mediocre. I think we all find ourselves earned my perfect smile lines. Absolutely. I mean, I think that everybody's, that's awesome. I think everybody's situation is individual. It really depends on what kind of education that you got in school. It depends on what your market area is like coming into doing nails. It depends on what your special set of skills, what you really do well is. It depends on what you really like to do. It depends on all of those things. It depends on whether you have to be an employee or whether you've really treated it as starting your own business and you're not expecting for your nail business to make a profit for a while. Yes, cost per service. I actually just filmed part of cost per service just the other day for the University of Nails. So I definitely get that. Reverse application was the answer for me and my white smile lines. Yes, has to do with your type of clientele. Yes, and for some people, that's the thing, is you have to see lots of different techniques. Maybe reverse works for you, maybe it doesn't. Maybe tip overlays are always going to be your thing, but you do the most badass set of tip overlays and you have no interest in learning how to sculpt. Cool. That's awesome. Rock it. Like, I think there's just so many things about each individual tech's situation, but I got to tell you, I respect the hell out of somebody who's just got to do what they got to do to put food on their table. Like, there's a couple salons around me. I'm lucky. Our discount salons in my area aren't even really all that bad. Like, they're not that deeply discounted. They all are licensed and meet state board regulations. I'm in a super awesome area to be a nail tech. But there's a salon that's right down the road from me. And let me tell you, if money got super tight in my house, I would have absolutely no problem. Why doesn't your minimum wage cover our industry? I'll get to that in a second. I would totally go down there and sit and do glued on white tips with clear acrylic overlays in 30 minutes, which I'm totally capable of doing, and cranking that out. And I would totally go do that in a heartbeat, to put food on my table and pay rent. So that's, you know what I mean? That's one of those, like, I try to keep it real. Like, I understand that we all have different situations. We all have different stuff. Now, what was just commented about the minimum wage thing? Yes, minimum wage is supposed to cover us in our industry. And of course, we should be above minimum wage because we are a licensed profession. But because our 50 states all differently regulate the practice that we do of nails, you're subject to different laws in different states. And because of that, there's a lot of confusion that salon owners take advantage of, and they'll put people on a percentage commission and not guarantee them the minimum wage. And sometimes the employees don't know any better until they find out better. And there's been a lot of press on it, and there's been a lot of stuff that we're slowly kind of getting the consumer more aware of what's going on. And it's helped that in our political fight, everybody's sort of arguing about what the minimum wage should be. And so there's been room for a few people to stand up and go, hi, but we just want to make the minimum wage we have. You know? Yeah. In Canada, yeah, it's a labor law there. Yeah, there's some completely different regulations. That's the thing, is that, of course, I'm broadcasting from the States, and us 50 states, we have all different regulations. My videos can be seen all around the world. In every country, there's different regulations. There's all kinds of different qualifications and stuff in the UK. Like, I'm still trying to keep up on all that, the level certification training and all that stuff. So, yeah, everything's different for everybody. But I think what we all agree that we're all trying to do is we're trying to make a living for ourselves that's good enough to justify the time and practice and energy we spent in perfecting our craft. I think we all can agree that we're trying to get clients, customers, great services that they really enjoy and they feel like their money is well spent. And I I think we all agree that that all needs to be done safely, safe for us, safe for the client, and that, you know, we deserve to make a living doing it. And so I think that if we take that universal, here I go sounding like my hippie peace girl again, but if we take that universal idea that we all agree on and start there and build from it and get rid of some of our petty, stupid disagreements, you know, that, you know, infighting crap about which nail file is better than another one, then yeah, and the responsibility is on the employer to not exploit. Absolutely. There was just that big thing, that undercover story that the New York Times did about the workers in New York City. And see, here's the thing. They went in and they hired some more inspectors, and they went in and they looked at a bunch of stuff and they did a bunch of things. But at the end of the day, it put a lot of people out of business and displaced some salon workers who now what are they going to do? They have to go find somebody who's doing it right. And as we know, as nail techs, sometimes it's not always that easy to find a place to work. And even when you have experience, even when you have a license, even when you have done all that. So, claim protection, safety, infection control procedures is my motto. Yes. Yes. And I think that we just need to agree on what kind of the minimum safety standards are for what we do, and that we're all trying to make money doing it, and like just kind of start from there, you know? Peace, love, and nails, man. Can't we all just get along? When English is a second language, I bet workers will do what is necessary. And see, and that's, again, that's where you get back into that climate of there's all people of different, there's always people who are going to try to exploit other people. And there's always people that are going for some reason to be in a situation where they can be exploited. And it's not just in our industry, it's in every industry. And I think that that's the thing, is we just need to, I always say, like from the movie A Bug's Life, because I'm a Disney girl, that, you know, when the ants figure out that they outnumber the grasshoppers, and I think that's it. I think once nail artists figure out that if we just all can stop infighting and agree that we have a minimum standard, a minimum professional standard that we have to adhere to, and that we all can agree on at least that, you know, kind of thing, and that there's more of us than there is salon owners, than there is, you know, crappy employers, than there is, you know, I mean, that's that whole, we can drive where that goes. We can drive the change. Good leadership starts from the top. And a lot of times, that's why it's called grassroots. A lot of times change starts from the bottom. And so that's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm hanging out here, embracing everybody. Oh, in my nail tech embrace. And, okay, this is a good question. Let's talk about it. Honestly, would you hire someone who didn't speak English well? If they did kick-ass work and they made an attempt to learn English and they knew enough to be able to do our craft, yes, I would. Because I think at the end of the day, a smile, yes, best employee ever, no gossip, right? Because seriously, sometimes, you know, when we smile and we are really smiling over something, you know what I mean? We smile with our eyes. We smile with our whole face. And so if that person, no matter what language they spoke, if I moved to France and I went to go do nails in France and I don't speak French, but I'm learning, and a salon owner gave me an opportunity to do nails there, I would learn some basic words No, the question is, but are we a conversation-based service? No, we're a nail-based service. The conversation is a differentiation point that some people have as a strategy. But at the end of the day, people are paying for and walking out of our salon with their nails done. So if you can make conversation and your clients can form a relationship with you, then that is a differentiation strategy that you can use to separate yourself from other people. I worked in a Cuban salon. I don't speak Spanish. We're a service industry. So I think that, I'll give you an example outside the nail industry. I went and had my, bariatric surgery done in Mexico. And I was in a hospital where all my doctors and nurses and everybody spoke English, but a lot of the staff, the lower level, nursing assistant type staff, spoke broken English or none. But let me tell you, my least favorite floor nurse for the 2.5 days I was in the hospital was the one who spoke the most English, because I didn't like her and she wasn't nice. But there was 2 nurses who barely spoke any English who were amazing. And I didn't need them to speak English, and they didn't need me to be fluent in Spanish. You can get a lot done by body language and pointing and, when they were some of the most helpful nurses that I had. And one of them, the sum total of English she spoke to me in the whole time I was there was, "You go, fix." That was all. She was shooing me out of my bed because she needed to change my bed. And but she was concerned when she said it, and I could see the concern in her face. That's the same thing. So if I was to go to France and I was to become a nail tech in France, say some salon owner in France gave me the opportunity to do that, and I had gotten my license in France and all of that, and I walk into the salon, I would make sure that I knew the basics. Hello, thank you, goodbye. Google Translate will teach us that. While I was learning French, I would also learn some other words like long or short and square or round and wash your hands, right? Learn some basic things that I think we can learn really quickly. And then I think when I walk up to my guest and I greet them and I say, "My name is Michelle," and I shake their hand, and I shake their hand warmly, and I say, "Come." And I think that they can see that I care. And so when I have to make sure that I can tell them in French that I don't, that I only speak a little French. But then we can build a relationship over that if we want to, or if they're just there for the nails and they don't care that I speak English instead of French, then I can just do their nails. And at the end, they still walk out and they're happy with their nails, and I still gave good customer service. So I think that can be done. I just think that, again, it all comes back to our industry doing what we need to do to keep our workers healthy and safe, and to have our profession treated like the licensed profession that it is. And we have to respect that. And that we want safe, beautiful nails for the customers for what they want. And I think if we can figure out that that's something we all can agree on, that we can stop all of this stupid infighting. Peace, man. It's all about peace. So, amen. So, see how you guys, I love how our industry is changing too. And see, you guys can get me on a tangent. I had no plans of a tangent today, and you guys got me off on a tangent. Yes, healthy for all, for everybody, without undue restrictions. See, I think that's the the bottom line that we need to find the balance of is what is safe for everyone that isn't necessarily required because somebody says it is because they profit off the fact that it's should be required. I'm not throwing out any direct accusations because I think that everybody, every person with a product of some sort to sell is would love to make it so everybody had to use their product. Like, oh my gosh, dream industry, hello. But I think that we need to not be manufacturer driven like that. Like I say all the time, love my manufacturer peeps, love you guys. But I think we need to not be manufacturer driven. I think we need to be common sense and demand driven. So we need to demand that we have healthy, safe places to work. And then the law needs to be written to fulfill that we have healthy, safe places to work. And then the manufacturers will come in with solutions for what we decide we need, not what they say we should have. And they're in the ear of the lawmakers. So the lawmakers who don't know any better say, well, my gosh, you must have to have this. It's the same thing as listening to the Environmental Working Group, which makes Doug Schoen go and like spin off to nowhere. Because the fear-based marketing, like we need to have common sense based regulation, not fear-based. And so, yeah, that's what I think. Thank you for asking. You didn't really ask. I just kind of told you. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, look at that. I'm even over my time. This is too long. There's lots of people who won't even watch because nobody wants to listen to me yammer for 38 minutes. Except for you guys who are here with me. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try and set up all of this lighting and, oh, you're sweet. Said I do. Likes to listen to me yammer for 38 minutes. I'm going to try and set up all this lighting and equipment, and I have some website work to do, and I have some law research to do, and my to-do list is really long. But I don't have any clients. So, and my nails are done. So other than polishing my toes, which thankfully are not on camera so you cannot see them, I don't have anything else going on this weekend other than getting stuff extra well set up for you guys. So, enjoy Nail Talk Radio this Sunday night. Braden should be back. I will be popping on Periscope periodically with some different things I'm doing. I'll probably be testing out some stuff. I will be at any, a question I would be at Smokies. I will be at any show that I can afford to get to. As of right now, the only one that is on my docket is the Willamette Valley Nail Event because it's close by me. And so we can just drive there. Yes, I will be at Willamette Valley Nail Event. I am going to be periscoping from Willamette Valley Nail Event. And I'm going to try, like, you guys will probably see me pop on Periscope off and on this weekend. Next time, 40 minutes. You guys are funny. Yeah, Kristen does have a great show going again. And I'm doing nails on my daughter as a follow-up. The nails I did on her trying out the Entity and the Elegant Glass nails, acrylic. It's been 2 weeks already. Can you believe it? And so I'm going to fill her nails this weekend. So I got a new tripod. So maybe I'll try that out and see if I can get a better angle for you guys on Periscope. And I'm going to try and set up all this stuff. So I may pop on and off. So, oh, thank you. It says I have to meet you somehow. You're awesome. Great spirit. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Well, that's the thing is, you guys, that's my, yes, there are lots of others on Periscope. Almost everybody who's big in the industry is on Periscope at some point, especially the technologically progressive ones. So, I'll see if I can find everybody's, pages. Tanya Sisson, who's a CND ambassador, is Island Nail Girl. Amy Becker, I believe, is Amy Becker Gel Nails. I would have to double check that because I followed her for so long. Nail Talk Radio is Athena. NTR Braden is Nail Talk Radio Braden Yar. Then we have, oh my gosh, I mean, there's just so many. Holly Skippers, the fingernail fixer, is on Periscope. Gosh, I mean, I lose track, so I'll have to go through my list of people I'm following. Elaine Watson is on Periscope as the Nail-lebrity. Just Nail-lebrity. Gosh, there's just so many. So I'll go through my list and see if I can find a list for you guys. I'm also going to do a video this weekend that I'm going to stream directly to Facebook on how to Periscope. So hopefully we can get some more people to join in on this little platform. And I'm going to try and get together with my nail peeps for the Willamette Valley Nail event and see if I can pin down for a special Nails Over Coffee done with a few of us together. So it's sort of like The View for nails. So yeah, lots of stuff in the works. But that's the thing, is that I would love to go to all of at least the Nails Only events. But, you know, I am still doing nails for a living, and I'm trying to build on the University of Nails. So as this platform continues to grow and I get more members, then I'll be able to go to do those. I know, right? You guys did. What is wrong with you guys? Why are you so weird? It's because you're my people. That's why. But so as the University of Nails grows, you know, as soon as I get more members and everything, then I'll be able to do more of that on-site stuff, and I'll be able to be at more of the trade shows. We're lonely. That's awesome. And, you know, hopefully I'll be able, you know, my dream would be to get into an RV and rock the Michelle World Tour thing starting in the US leg and like drive around in my RV, and where everybody can set up individual seminars in their salon or whatever, and however many people they want to pack in there for, you know, 25 bucks a person or something like that, 50 bucks a person, whatever we decide that you have to charge for it. And I can come in and do a 4-hour business seminar. And then, you know, we could all go to dinner, and then I can hop in my RV with my hublove and we can, you know, roll on to the next tour stop. Oh, that's really sweet. The comment was, you don't realize how much you encourage us. And that was really sweet. That's exactly the reason why I do what I do. That's why I am passionate about it, and I do believe in it, and I believe in us, and I believe in what we do, and I believe in our industry, and damn it, we'll get it figured out. Some other people have given up hope, and I've just not given up hope yet. It's been 19 years, still haven't given up hope. So anywho, I'm going to finish my incredibly large cup of coffee now that you guys have kept me on here for what I think might be the longest Nails Over Coffee since we started this in November. I don't know. I don't remember how long Suki's was when I was having surgery. But it's not cold. My coffee, she said my coffee is probably cold. It's not cold, but it is definitely not hot anymore. And it is definitely going back in the microwave. And, yes, we're breaking records all over the place here. There's a bunch of people right now who are probably looking, who watch it on replay going, hello, when are you going to get done? Shut up already, Michelle. And I certainly agree with some of that. I have not a shy bone in my body. All right, guys, that's it. That's it. I draw the line. I cut it off. I'm out of here. Enjoy Nail Talk Radio on Sunday night. I will be watching the Nail World over the weekend for us, in between me trying to figure out how to set up this new stuff of mine. And I will see you guys on Monday at noon Pacific time with hopefully a whole bunch of more nail goodies. Who knows what will happen over the weekend. All right, so I'm out of here, guys. That's it. No more. You can't keep me anymore. Goodbye.